Hi, welcome to High Road to You. This is Mark Stofer. And in this video, I want to talk about overcompensation. Sometimes what you're doing in life, when you have toxicity in areas of your life where you're not being accountable, you're ignoring, you're denying, you're blaming. And what happens is this, what happened in my family? There was domestic violence. My uncle was a drinker. My aunt, she wasn't a great housewife, right? She'd close all the windows, and as she watched us as kids during the summer, she would basically, watch soap operas all day and melt into the couch, and she gained a lot of weight. And it really upset my uncle. He was a mechanic, and then when he got home, 30 minutes before he got home, it would be this frantic clean the house, and it was always like she was breaking a sweat and like, oh, I've been working all day. And we would be stuffing clothes and toys under the bed and in the closet and doing the dishes. And it was a frantic kind of chaotic experience, but it was an adrenaline rush to a certain extent for my aunt. She'd just be up running around. And I remember too, somebody from school later on he was a drug dealer, and he was always on meth, and he was coming over, and he was a shoplifter. And it's a drug like anything else. Consumerism was a drug that kind of overcompensated for the toxicity that was happening. And during Christmas, like the presents would be as high as the top of the tree, and it would be a joke. It's funny in that context of like, ignore all the domestic violence, ignore all the alcoholism, ignore all the consumerism, ignore everything else, and life is perfect, right? Life is wonderful. And it wasn't. It was absolutely not wonderful. And so I think that to a very large extent, the capitalistic, consumeristic, Western culture economy it's a Ponzi scheme. And I would just say that if you step back and think about what is really foundationally important, nutrition, physical and social activity every day, and being active in healthy environments where it's not about consumerism. It's not about having 100 pair of shoes or hundreds of, when your closet in the bar starts to sag and the clothes in there, 90% of the clothes you don't wear, or the storage unit is so full that you need another one. And then who's responsible? It's a curse. I think it's a generational curse when you leave so much stuff for potentially your siblings to have to navigate. And sometimes that's when in my life, in my experience, it goes on for generations, and they don't know how to go through everything. And they can't see, they can't see light at the end of the tunnel. So I would just say, be careful, separate yourself from the toxicity in a healthy way. Find something to do with your time that really builds a foundation so that you have nutrition, physical and social activity every day. You don't ignore, you don't deny, you don't blame. You just separate yourself so that it doesn't become part of your life going into the next generation. And with that, I hope this message resonates with your heart and your mind. I hope it doesn't find you in this toxicity. But if it does, take the necessary action. I hope it gives you inspiration and courage, knowing that it doesn't end well. And at some point, somebody's got to set the boundaries, not just on ourselves, but on others. And with that, I hope this message finds you well.